friends. I hope everyone has been enjoying their summer. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in my life, and it has been great. So I hope everybody else has been having an awesome summer. I've been getting tons and tons of reading done, and it has been fantastic. So I'm going to talk to you about this awesome series that I have been loving, and I actually finished it a couple weeks ago. I have just been lazy and, doing summer. So this series is the Conqueror Saga by Kiersten White. I read it from my school library, and it is amazing. So it is 3 books. This is the third one. I already turned the other 2 back in. The first book is the And I Darken. The second one is Now I Rise, and the third one is Brightly Burn. And they are fantastic. So I call it historical fiction because it is basically what would happen had Vlad the Impaler been a teenage girl. It was amazing. But again, because it's not fantasy, there's no sci-fi, there is a little bit of romance. I would call it historical fiction. I'm not normally like a huge historical fiction person, but this series is so much fun and so good. If you like just badass women or badass girls, it's amazing. It's fantastic. So while I was like talking to people about it and like reading reviews, I kept hearing like people have a love-hate relationship with Lotta. She is Vlad the Impaler as a girl. Her name is Lotta, and like people don't like her, and I was like, why? She's so cool. Like, had I been living back then, I can't say I'd want to be her friend, but I'd probably be a fan of hers because she's just a badass. I'm in a middle school library, and I have this series in my library, so do with that what you will. It is violent. It is very violent. There were times when I was reading it and I was looking away, like pretending I'm not seeing what I was reading, but it's in my head. So yeah. Anyway, so the series is amazing. I think it's awesome because we don't hear often stories about what happened during that time period. So it's a really cool look into a time period that I would not have known anything about. I know nothing about Vlad the Impaler other than he's kind of where the myth of Dracula came from. And I just thought it was great. I love Kiersten White. I've been meaning to read the series for forever. And it was just, this summer, why not? Anyway, so the first book is called And I Darken. And it is a story of Lotta and her brother as they grow up. So Lotta and her brother are the prince and princess of Wallachia. Well, they are the second and third born. Her brother Radu is second, and Lotta is the baby. Well, her dad was a douche. Like, Lotta just wanted him to love her, and she literally did everything she could to get him to love her. Everything that she's doing throughout the entire series, she's trying to prove that she is who she can be to her father. And don't get me started. Anyway, so they have an older brother, Mercia, and I'm probably butchering these names because I heard them when I was listening to the audiobooks, but Lord knows I'm not going to say them correctly. So Mercia is the oldest. He's an asshole. Just putting that out there. Like, he's really mean to Lotta and Radu, and Lotta loves Radu. And my favorite thing about it is she's really mean to him because she loves him, and she's always telling him, you are not going to die because I'm going to be the one that kills you. Therefore, you cannot die because I don't plan on killing you right now. And to me, like, maybe it's weird, but it makes sense to me because if you love someone that much to protect them because you are the only person that is allowed to kill them, like, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, so I love how in the beginning, like from the minute she sees Radu when he's born, she loves him and she wants to just take care of him and just be his person who takes care of him. And so when people, like their tutors, beat him, she knows that they're doing it to bother her. And so she has to act like it doesn't bother her. And what bothers Radu, like through the entire 3-book million-page series, is he's always like, you never gave a shit when somebody was beating me, and you never cared when our tutors would beat me in front of you. And she finally tells him in the end, like, you're so stupid. I did that because it was how they would know they could get to me, was if I acted like it bothered me, and that was the only way to save you because otherwise they would use you against me. It makes so much sense. Anyway, so the first book Darken is about Lotta watching basically all the BS that goes on. And her father is a coward and sells her and Radu. Not really sells them, but leaves them in this country where they just. I mean, they grow up with the person who is the future. I can't even say it. He's the son of the Sultan. His name, I say wrong all the time, but I say Mehmed. I know that that's not correct. It's like Mahmed or something. I don't know. I heard it in the audiobook. I can't say it correctly. So I call him Mehmed. And they grow up with him. And it's really cool. They like accidentally stumble upon him and they become friends. So the first book is about that friendship building. And Radu loves Mehmed and wants to be best friends with him and wants to just be with him all the time because he says that Mehmed is such a light and he just wants to be a part of that light. And as the book goes on, they develop this relationship, they develop a friendship. Mehmed says like he only wants those two with him all the time. They're his truest friends, they're his best friends. But Lotta knows she does not belong in that country. She belongs in Wallachia, which I'm also saying wrong, but I say Wallachia. And that is her country and she loves it. And when she leaves, she takes this little like pocket thing and she puts some dirt and she puts some leaves and like some stuff from trees and she puts it in there and she wears it around her neck like a locket, and every so often she holds it and she smells it and reminds her of home, and that's kind of what gets her through everything, is that she knows that she belongs to Wallachia and Wallachia belongs to her. And the first book's entirely about her seeing all the crap going on and realizing the only way for her to truly have Wallachia and take care of her people is to be the prince. And of course, everybody's like, you're never going to be prince. You're a girl, which I love. So then the first book ends with her wanting to be prince and her realizing all the crap that's going on. It's so good. I loved it. It is long. Like when you're reading it, you have to know this is a trilogy. There's a reason the first book is so long because it's developing the foundation of that relationship that builds and gets you to where they are. The second book is very, very political, and I thought it was the best book in the entire series. So if you like Game of Thrones and you like Or Remember the Spider, this is very much that story. It is Radu having to be the spider and Radu growing up knowing he's handsome and knowing that Mehmed loves him as his best friend and knows that Radu loves Mehmed and Mehmed wants to be Sultan, and lots of crap go on, and it's just Radu. It goes between Radu and Lotta's points of views, but you see Radu just grow into this amazing person who basically is the spider, and he sees how politics work and he sees how he can make things happen in his favor because he's handsome and because he's good looking. And it's so good. Like all the politics of everything is awesome. And it's at the same time, Lotta is building her army and who she is because she wants to be prince, and people just tell her all the time, you can't be prince because you're a girl, and she's like, no, Wallachia is mine and I'm going to take it. And the third book, Brightly Burn, y'all, look, I mean, you can see how big this is. It is a long book. It's 378 pages long, and it was hard because Lotta gets what she wants. I'm not going to say specifics because you may not want the spoilers. But Lotta gets what she wants and she does it dirty. She fights dirty. She does things that you're like, oh my God, did she really just do that? But she's such a badass. And I love her because she is persistent and she fights and she knows what she wants and she never stops and she never lets anyone stop her or get in her way. Granted, she does things wrong a lot. But at the same time, I mean, she knows what she's doing. And back then, when women had nothing, she inspires other women in small villages and like everywhere around the country that they can do things. And I think that that is super duper important. But back then, especially when women were just to have children and to be pretty and to be quiet. And then you have Lotta, who's like terrifying. It was really cool. It's an amazing story. I absolutely loved it. The ending is beautifully written. there is a scene where I cried my eyes out because I was like, it's so unfair. Why did that happen? But everything makes sense in the end. And I love, love, love Kiersten White. She is amazing, but I really love that she is so active in social media. So, like, whenever I'm reading it and I was like talking about it and like how much I love Lotta and how she's amazing and how I was reading the whole series, and as it went on, and I felt like she was there. Like, I could talk to her and be like, because at one point something happens and I was like, no, why do you do that? And she responded, she was like, well, what did you think could have happened? And I was like, oh, I've never been asked that before. So that was fun. But I just love being able to talk to authors on Twitter. I think it's an awesome part of being a librarian and a reader now where we have that ability. Anyway, Lotta is freaking fantastic. I love her. She is my new favorite character in any book ever because she's just amazing. She fights and she fights and she fights and she fights because she knows what she wants and she knows that she deserves it. And she knows that Wallachia and Radu and kind of Mehmet are hers. And it is so good. The love story and Radu's story and just the politics. Yeah, I don't like books with politics, and this series is freaking awesome. So again, that it's called the Conqueror Saga. The first book is And I Darken. The second book is Now I Rise, and the third book is Bright We Burn, and they are absolutely amazing. I read them on my Kindle because it was easier to carry it around than carrying all the books around at the same time. I also did the audiobook and the print because why not, right? Anyway, so that is The Conqueror Saga by Kiersten White, and it was amazing. Go check it out. Bye.